Hello, this is Paper Cuts Included coming to you live from the Ninja Turtle sleeping blanket, and that's how I know it's legit. Today we are going to be looking at one of my favorite books of all time, probably a lot of people's first ever comic book, and what I would call an artist who needs to be on the Mount Rushmore of cartooning. That being Jeff Smith's Bone Number One. If this is your first ever Paper Cuts Included video, we are a comic book YouTube channel dedicated to talking about what we love. And what we love is comic books, baby. We talk about comic books, comic book art, art in general, artists, and we give our own 2 cents on art making. This channel is run by me and my two other co hosts. We are all three working artists in the field. So we'll talk about what we do as artists, talk about how the artist inspired us, talk about what works, what doesn't, that kind of, business. This video is going to be called an Under the Microscope. And what we do on videos like this is we take a book like Bone Number One and break the art and story kind of, or I guess more so the art, down atom to atom. Talk about what works, talk about what doesn't work. How has the artist done it? What's the kind of anything and everything that makes the book the book. And it's real fun. To prove I'm a working artist, I'll show off one of my pieces I'm working on right now, which is going to be in the Fallout zine that me and my co-host are working on. This is going to be the cover. It is nowhere near done yet, so don't make fun of it too bad. But if you've been watching the previous videos, you kind of get to see it from sketch to color, and hopefully I get it done in a day or two. So, that's one part of the zine that's getting done. If you want to see more of my art or my co host art, you can go to our Instagrams. Link will be in the description. And if you want to support the channel, you can go to my TeePublic page, which you can buy t shirts, posters, coffee cups, anything and everything, probably. I don't know what all TeePublic sells at this point. And anything you buy on that, the money goes directly towards buying more books for the channel. That's what I'm going to be using it for. So, without further ado, let's get into Bone Number One. I read Bone during the senior trip of, I guess, my senior year of high school. We went to Fort Lauderdale, and I read Bone on the airplane and in Fort Lauderdale. It was a great series. I liked it a whole lot. I read a little bit of it as a kid because, like I said, this book, I guess, in my generation, is real popular in the Scholastic Book Fair. I don't think you can not go to a book fair and without seeing a Bone copy, or you can't go to a Goodwill or a resale shop without seeing those Scholastic colored books now. Which, good on Jeff Smith for being able to accomplish that. There's a lot of comics who probably deserve that but haven't gotten it, and Bone deserves it and is actually just great. Bone is probably in my top 10 books of all time. I think it is the great all ages comic, and it is, I can safely say this will be a comic I read to my kids one day, or my future kids. I'm not that old yet. But no, I think Bone's great. It's probably the greatest all ages comic in my opinion, with a solid artwork, solid story. I'm hearing people compare it to kind of that Lord of the Rings Call to Adventure. That someone said it. It's kind of hard to unsee it. I'm sure Jeff Smith was inspired by Tolkien, and it's just a great book. We're going to be looking at issue 1. This isn't the original one because, man, I would be rich if I had that sucker. But this is one of the Image reprints, which kept Jeff Smith pumping out them. But I don't know how many issues I have. I think I have about a third of the run. I don't run into it that often, and usually when I do, it's a little overpriced, so I have to put it down, but who knows? Maybe we'll start doing more videos on it. What I do have, though, I don't have a lot of the earlier issues, but I do have the first volume, which has the first 6 issues. So, and this one's in black and white. The one we're going to be looking at is in colored. But, I really like Bone, so I could definitely see us for the next 6 weeks going over the first 6 issues of Bone, talking about it. But, before that, let's get into issue number 1. And how we start all the Under the Microscope is the cover successful. And what I mean by that is if I walked into a comic book store, is the cover going to draw me in? Because having a good cover is an essential part of a comic. That could be an easy sell. Think about the people who walk into a store for the first time or look at your book for the first time. A cover can, be their deciding factor on, paying the $2.95. And that's $2.95 you get in your pocket. You gotta have some money coming in to, keep the lights on, keep a pencil in your hand, and keep a cheeseburger in your belly. So, gotta sell those books somehow, and a good cover can be a part of that, or should be a part of that. So, is the cover successful? This is a reprint cover. This is not the original cover. We'll look at the original cover real quick. We'll compare both of them. I guess let's compare the original one first. This is how the cover of issue 1 would look. I think it's a great cover. These are our three main characters: Phone Bone, Phony Bone, and Smiley Bone. And I do think it would draw some people in. You kind of get confusion of, oh, what's this book about? That looks cool. What are these three random marshmallow people? They must be in trouble with all those eyes around them. So I do think it plays more off a kid's book in this angle, and maybe that's a good thing, or it is a good thing. I think it would sell the art. It sells the book. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a great cover. You do get to see all the expressions or the personalities. Phony Bone, or not Phony Bone, Phone Bone being your little scaredy cat character. Phony Bone being annoyed at Smiley Bone, who doesn't have a care in the world. And the eyes around it kind of sums up Bones. All these characters are kind of fishes out of water in this entire series. So I think it's a good cover. Not an amazing cover that, it's going to stand the test of time, but it's solid. 7 out of 10. The other cover, though, I love. At first I didn't like it, but it does, this is Tolkien art right there, right? This could be Bilbo Baggins with Smog behind him. I think it's a good cover. I think it's going to draw people in, draw that fantasy crowd in, and people are going to pick it up. I will give it a 7.5 out of 10, and we can't talk about Bone without the amazing title, the logo. I don't know how Jeff Smith came up with it. I'm sure that's a wizard or a Comics Illustrated interview. If you know, comment down below, because I would love to have that bar trivia. How did Jeff Smith come up with Bone? I think he was probably just sketching and liked how it looked, or maybe his wife did. I don't know. Someone did. But it looks good. It's probably one of my most recognizable logos. I feel like I'll never be able to not see the Bone font, and it matches the book's theme so well. So without, we've been talking about the cover, been talking about the book. Let's actually look in the book for a second. This is oh no, I guess it is black and white. I don't know why I thought it was colored. Huh. Okay. I thought it was colored. Um, so the single issues are in black and white, which I don't know if they ever did colored versions of the single issues. I know that the Scholastic Book Fair books that a lot of people my age got at book fairs are colored, and that's how I first was introduced to them. I think my first one was Ghost Circles, and I never finished it because I really liked it, but it got to a point where my the teachers' parents were like, you need to read like chapter books. You can't stop to read a simple comic book. This was in the 5th grade. So I was like, nope, you're going to read Percy Jackson. Don't bother with Bone. And I was like, no, I like this book a lot. It's cool, It was maybe it was one of the first comic I ever read, now that I think about it. But I didn't call it a comic book. It was in a book. So, but, let's talk about the art now. It's our story takes place, with the Bone cousins ran out of Bone Town or Boneville, and just Jeff Smith's an amazing cartoonist. If you want to make a more cartoony book, if you want to study a great cartoonist, look at Jeff Smith. I talk about him a lot on the Mount Rushmore of cartoonists, and we are up to right now Jeff Smith, Michael Allred, and my recent one was Stan Sakai. So we still need one more artist to complete our cartoonist Mount Rushmore. So let me know in the comments what artist should I look at to think about it. That needs to be a video we do, the actual Mount Rushmores, because I have my Mount Rushmore of artists and then my cartoonists. But I'm getting sidetracked. Let's get to the book. But just great backgrounds, or not great backgrounds. Yes, great backgrounds. I always love how people can do mountains so good. And as a kid, I was like, oh, mountains are so hard to draw. But now as an adult, I'm like, huh, I need to make a whole comic of mountains because that'd be so easy. Just doing some shaky line work, but yet it looks so good. So don't be afraid to get simple with your artwork, kids. Don't try to borrow technical draw it. Sometimes shortcuts are good. But just the subtle movements of his characters really sell them. The stubby fingers of Foam Bone down there, that smile of Smiley Bone, the sweat. It's the little things that make a book memorable, and stuff like that really does. Jeff Smith does really good at showing the expressions. Phony Bone will always be dramatized, and I think Jeff Smith capitalizes that to a T. This is one example of him being kind of in defeat. They've been running all day, and now they're they stopped, and of course he's crumbled. He looks so tired, you know, and he sells that really good. All the sweat, the pupils being on different levels, it works. And just this composition is very like Bone. I swear, in another timeline, is a Sunday comic with 3 or 4 panels at a time. It could have worked. So if you love Sunday comic style comics like Prince Valiant, the Boondocks, Peanuts, uh, was it crap Calvin Hobbes? I don't know why I forgot that all of a sudden. I think you'll like Bone a lot. It's in black and white. It could work as a comic strip. It's just great. And just getting more of those character moments of oh, that shadow's kind of bad. The character moments, you know, just all the expressions, all the sweat, Phony Bone being so dramatic. I love it. That's what I'm there for in this book. That's another thing I remember about Jeff Smith's artwork is he sells emotion in a funny way with these guys. These are some of our most outlandish character designs in this book, which I don't think we ever see any more of the. I think there's some, other books out there now. Like there's one about Grandma Ben's history and stuff like that. But for me, I don't think we ever see more of the bone people. But if I hadn't said it yet, these are our main characters, you know. And just in this 2-page spread, you really get what their personalities are real quick. And sometimes that's what you got to do is the gym shoot away. Every issue is going to be someone's first issue, and to have characters this recognizable and this easy to tell what the personality is great. That's a great artist tool to have. Sometimes people overutilize it and make your books just kind of campy, but Jeff Smith, I think, sells it really well. Like, just look at this panel. This panel right here, I think, really sells it. You have Phony Bone. Just take the thought bubble or speech bubbles out. Phony Bone's going to be your irritated character. He's always going to have a scowl on his face. Smiley Bone is always going to be smiling no matter what, with a dope bowling hat and a stogie in his mouth. And Foam Bones, our fish out of water, got a map in his hand, scared cat, Shaggy character, you know? So, you know, come up with how to get your audience to know who your characters are, what makes them tick. And if you do it really good, the audience is never gonna get confused because 3 characters out of the gate can be a much for some artists. That's 3 characters you got to get personalities for. 3 characters you got to this that straight out of the gate. There's not even a panel before we get all 3 of it, right? Not even a cover before we get. Or I guess in this there is cover, but no, we're in the thick of our characters. And the lack of a background, just these white backgrounds. I've had some professors say you should never do that in art. Don't draw your characters in the void. But I think it really works with Jeff Smith's art approach. I think if he did do that kind of background, you would lose a lot of, a detailed background. I think would make the Bone characters kind of look cheap in a bad way, but without it, you don't tell it. That's why I say it'd work really great in a comic strip like paper format. Is I think they'd be perfect for it. They're perfect for this. I love it. And like I said, just the range of emotions he can do with these simple characters really works. I I'm sure he looked at or was inspired by like Peanuts, Calvin Hobbes, stuff like that, because it's hard to not see Charlie Brown right there, angry. You know what I mean? Which I hope Jeff Smith doesn't take offense to me saying. But I don't compare it to Peanuts. I've never read a Peanut story, but I've read Bone twice over. So and I love it. But no, we are where are we at in the story right now? Um, they've been ran out of Phony Bone finally. Or not out of Phony Bone. Phony Bone's been ran out of Boneville finally. The townspeople have had enough of his derelict schemes, and his good old cousins Smiley Bone and Phone Bone went with him to help him. So, and now they've been ran out in the desert where supplies are low. So, we already got that attention. We're not just going to be muddying around for 10 issues like a Marvel book would do now. They got to go find something fast. And they're already off the map. God, I love that panel right there of just, Phony Bone, that look. Phony Bone's probably the best drawn character in this series. Just the range of stuff Jeff Smith's able to do with him. Like he looks just like Phony Bone, or not Phony. Phony Bone looks just like Phone Bone, but yet they're such different characters, And just they like this. He could have had him look like him, but yet he doesn't. That right, that almost Donald Duck esque qualities. The mad, so mad, seeing red. Where Phone Bone's just stern. I think it just it puts the amateurs and the pros in a different space, and I would certainly label Jeff Smith as a pro, because an amateur is gonna make Phony Bone and Phone Bone pretty much look the same. You know, even their like standing is just so different. Phone Bone's he's or blah. Sorry, Phone Bone is our straight left Boy Scout character. He is our main character, and he's standing up straight and tall. Whereas Phony Bone's got his knees a little bent. It's just the little things that, like I said, add up to making a book memorable. And then Smiley Bone in the background. Hey guys, we're out of water. Still smoking his stogie, which will come up eventually. You know. So while Phony Bones realize that they might be screwed, they don't know where they're at, they're lost, and now there's no more water. We just get this great little breakdown of them. Like I said, I love the range of emotions that Jeff Smith's able to do with them. And now my favorite joke in this book, Smiley Bone comes running back like, guys, I found the map. It's a new map. I found it. And Phony Bone's like, yes, we're saved. Give it to me. Smiley Bone replies with, well, give me $1 first. And so Phony Bone's confused, like, what? And Phone Bone's just, go on, Phony, give him $1. And it's just a fun joke. So put humor in your books. Like I walked away from this book remembering that joke. Even when I read it, gosh, 4 or 5 years ago when I was a senior. I'm a senior in college now, so however that math works. It just a good joke. So workshop some jokes sometimes. Man, and just Phony Bone proclaiming this crumbled up piece of paper is worthless, and Smiley Bone just like, nope, it's worth $1. So just I don't know, just a fun joke, and just all the emotion, like I said, like all the emotion lines, sweat coming off Phony Bone, with Phone Bone just chilling, you know with this interesting typography coming, the zzz, so it's like what we can see what's happening, and we can even see what's happening right there. But that would be a good, if you're, I wonder if is it in that too? Yeah, it is. But no, just Locust, pretty neat, huh? Just Smiley Bone, not a care in the world. Smiley Bone's my favorite character in Bone. I always want to be like Smiley Bone, and he was always fun to draw in some of my first serious art projects, just drawing a big old cartoon character with a stogie in his mouth, you know? But no, he draws locusts so good. These locusts are going to come up a lot and just, you know, probably a big thing of ink with some white dots. I always love seeing, and it just works, you know. And they've been lost in the desert, and now they're getting attacked by locusts. These Bone brothers or cousins, I call them brothers. I think they work better as brothers. You know, I don't really know how much time passes during the series, but they go through the ringer during all of it pretty much. And you know, one of I guess the beginning are all these locusts that he draws really well. You know, with the brothers getting separated pretty quick. You know, and another really good moment, a way to show his cartooning chops is this page right here. You know, he's running, he can't see. You know, and then he falls off the cliff. Just done really well. I wonder how long it took him to draw every locust, you know? That's the stuff I think about. And Looney Tune Styles falls off the side of the cliff, keeps falling, lands in the snow, and even says, I can't believe I wasn't killed in that. So your book doesn't have to be dead serious, you know, character falls, they die. Have them land in some snow, have them land in some twigs, you know, get creative with it. I think it's, you know, done really well. This is one of my favorite pages in the book. So just think about stuff you can do. You know, I'm sure that would be a dope t-shirt too. Like there's a lot of panels in this book I would love as a t-shirt. And I wonder where those original Bone t-shirts are. With all comic book t-shirts, I'm sure they're in like a warehouse somewhere, you know. But no, he falls down and he's separated from his cousins, you know. Another just, you know, wrinkle in the book. You know, they're out in the middle of nowhere. They're lost. The locusts are attacked, and now they're all separated. The brothers, we just or cousin. I'm just gonna call them brothers. The Bone brothers. We have, you know, just met, know everything we need to know about them. Know that Phony Bones a scammer, Smiley Bones happy go lucky, and Phone Bones are fish out. You know, are naive bookworm. You know, with his book backpack, and they've been separated now. You know, and is something gonna get him now with this ominous Scooby Doo esque eyes? You know. Well, I guess not for now, as he's walking, walking, walking. But just I don't know. The Bone Brothers designs always stand out so good. I love them every time I see them. They're drawing just great every time, and it passes the silhouette test. I don't. I guess I haven't talked about that in a while. What I mean by the silhouette test is, you know, get a character, black him out. If your audience knows him like that, that means you've done a good character. You know, think of characters like Mickey Mouse, SpongeBob, Winnie the Pooh. You know, everyone's gonna know him like that. And you know, I feel like a lot of comic book fans will know the Bones. You know, go to a con, show a silhouette of Smiley Bone, Phony Bone, or the Red Dragon. People are gonna, I think, would know it. Maybe even some, you know, people who really liked the Bone books growing up. I'm sure there are people who aren't into comics, but love Bone. You know, like I said, people my age have seen Bone from probably elementary school to high school at book fairs because it is a great all ages comic. You know, there's no cussing, or yeah, it has the stuff that it can be in elementary school. No cussing, no, you know, it does have death, but you know, just tame enough to be in an elementary school. But it'll prove to have humor. It'll prove to have serious moments that anyone and everyone can read. Like I said, once I have kids, I will love reading Bone to them. I, you know, hope they love it. You know, I wonder if my kids will like comic books. But yet now we're seeing this funny looking guy kind of follow Foam Bone on the horizon. You know, and as a kid or during my reread, I was like, huh, that's an interesting way to draw this character. And you know, gosh, I always forget. So Phone Bone, you know, searching all night, gets tired, falls asleep. You know, does it really well. The way he does the eyebrows in this book are always so good. How simple they are, but yet effective. So just play around with eyebrows because that can make or break some expressions sometimes. I struggle with them, and some people might be like, "Oh, that's the easiest thing ever. Eyebrows are easy." Not for me. Everyone's got their struggle boats. But now we're getting more Scooby Doo eyes, but not the same Scooby Doo eyes we got, you know, 2 pages ago. With those things. These don't got pupils, and they turn out to be the rat creatures. Our antagonist of this book, he draws them so well. You know that reminds me of Magnola. I know when did Bone come out? Who knows? You know, I probably should know that since I'm talking about it, but I don't. But no, I love the way he draws his rat creatures. A lot of his original things, like non-human designs, are so memorable. And I wish Jeff Smith did more art than Bone. The only other thing I've seen him do was a Shazam book for DC. But Jeff Smith's an incredible artist with an incredible creative mind. But no, he made bank on this series, so you don't have to make books when you're sitting on an island somewhere. But no, and we learned what this Scooby Doo eyes are. It's the red dragon, and they don't look like any dragon I know. It looks more like a big old rabbit, which I think's just cool. Adds to the design. It's gonna be something you remember. It's the dragon don't really look like a dragon. He looks like a bunny, with a cigarette in his mouth. It's all about cigarettes and stogies in this book. That would be a dope T-shirt. And sometimes not showing and simple is key. How are you going to show your characters in the dark? Just black out your panels, man. you know I wish I would remember that because it does sell it too. You always don't have to show, and it does establish that this is nighttime real easily. You know what I mean? So don't break the bank thinking about how to show night. Don't overdo it. Like if this was 3 pages, I'd be like, Jeff Smith taking shortcuts, but just being a page and a half, it's like, yeah, that's pretty neat. Or yeah, I guess a page and a half because I wouldn't really count this. Just fun, a fun little gimmick Jeff Smith did. You know, and yeah, did he already have the map or did he lose the map? Or he has the map. But no, Foam Bone carrying on his adventure. You know, but no, just showing him climbing, showing I love this, the difference of perspective. Just walking further, just interesting ways to keep the book flowing, keep it going organically. And I really like it. Some people won't realize to do it, but it's really smart and it's really creative. So, look at stuff like that. Think about doing stuff like that in your own artwork. Keep the book going fluidly, because a good fluid book, it's going to have people coming back just for the art technical places at times too. It also helps if you have a really good story like this book, but sometimes you gotta make sure your art's really good too. Great art, great story, make an amazing book. You heard it here first. But no, our phone bone's starting to get a little tired. He doesn't think he's gonna make it. He should have been on the other side of this desert to this mysterious forest that's on the map for a little bit now, and it's hot. He's ready to throw in the towel, and we flip a page and he's there. You know, don't I don't know. I just like that they didn't stretch it out like you know a Marvel book where he might mention that, and then for 5 more issues we don't get that. I think it's done really well there. And just amazing landscape done in black and white. I want to see what it looks like in color, but he sells it really good. I always love seeing good landscapes in black and white. It takes a special someone sometimes to do it really well, you know. And did I miss it? There was. Oh yes, joke with the cigars. Why he's been going this way is he's been seeing cigar butts that Smiley Bone's been leaving. So he's just been following the cigar butts, which, breadcrumbs. That was a real smart joke they set up. Is Smiley Bone smokes, so of course he's gonna be leaving some cigar butts around. So like I said, just think about what you can do in your book to make it memorable. And the cigar, you know, breadcrumbs, I kind of want to do because I like that. And another really great character design is Ted the Bug and Ted's brother. Uh, Phone Bone being so excited to find another cigar butt, he almost steps on dear old Ted. And Ted's just a potato chip shape, but he's a bug. And he thinks Phone Bone's insulting him, so he calls on his big brother. And he ain't so little like Ted. He's this giant leaf bug who has some interesting anatomy. And I just love the bug's character designs. Like I said, Jeff Smith's non-human designs are so interesting. His humans design are too, but I think you know what I mean when I say non-human. They're just creative, they're innovative, they're out of, I've never heard someone do a rat creature that doesn't look like a giant rat, or think to do a leaf bug that big, or the Bone Brothers. I couldn't tell you what inspiration he might have looked at for the bones, you know, and it's just done really well too. And then the backgrounds too, using negative space to show the trees and like some line work to be the foliage. It just works really well. And of course, Phone Bone's like, I'm from Boneville. I'm trying to find my cousins. And of course, they haven't seen them. They don't even know what Boneville is. So, just solidifying that Phone Bones are fish out of water and our main character, who, we're going to be rooting for. And he's warning them, you got to get out of here by winter, because winter comes fast and it won't let you get out of those mountains. So I guess it's a year. I guess because spoiler alert, the book ends after they can get back over the mountain. So I guess a year takes place. But we get to see how Ted's brother looks, and it's paper thin. It's not some big muscular guy, and I just think that's a real interesting way of doing it. I would be trying to figure out how to do an anatomy of a leaf bug by showing him how chonky he is, but yet Jeff Smith saves a lot of time by making him that flat pancake shape. So just real innovative. I always see this panel whenever people talk about bone. I feel like I just see thumb bone right there, just cut out. So it's good to see where that originates from. And our last little bit is these two rat creatures who are going to come up a lot. I think they're colored purple and orange. I don't remember they have names, these specific two. But there are two dastardly rat creatures who are always trying to eat good old bone. But no, the joke starts with this guy calling his comrade a fat carcass, and him refusing to help him snatch up Foam Bone. I just love that panel right there. He draws the rat creatures so interesting. They're full of expressions without having mouths a lot of the time. Just those big circular eyes really tell what they're thinking. And then the use of hands. He draws great giant hands. That's not fair how good he draws hands, you know? And I love these two guys. This book doesn't have bad character. Every character who's introduced has a reason and has some humor behind them. So with the meal right there, they like, we gotta catch them. We're gonna make them into a stew. With the other rat creature being like, nope, I want to make them into a quiche. And of course, they don't want to happy with that because a quiche ain't a monster's food. A stew is. So just funny humor. The monsters arguing about what to make Foam Bone into, and yet he just simply walks away. You know, and that's how a lot of the kind of antagonists. There's not a whole lot of action in this book. A lot of the problems are solved with a simple walkaway or a simple kind of off-screen solution when they do fight a lot. Jeff Smith isn't your image guy who's going to show Foam Bone with 7 guns and 1,000 pouches mowing down rat creatures. And I think that's just part of the one of the formulas to make a good all ages comic. Don't alienate a community by having blood, gore, just a giant fight. There are fight scenes, but they're done really well, really quick. Like him just walking away. He's not, figuring out how to kill the rat creatures from this. And, we're not spending an issue of him dealing with them. It's 2 pages, and they're already done for the issue. They'll come back. Pretty funny, I might add, come back. But this book's been going on for a while, so Phone Bone again starts to take a break, and kind of betting on like what's gonna happen if I can't find my brothers. This forest is weird. I gotta get out of here before winter hits. Just kind of reiterating what he needs to do before this issue's over. And sorry, Phone Bone, but winter's here already, and just I love how they do winter. Just Jeff Smith drawing it as a one big old sheet coming down, and yep, that means it comes down fast. And I love how he did that. You know, I feel like you can't do it without people being like, you copy Jeff Smith. But it's so humorful. It's so interesting how to do snow that way. I would never think to do it that way. And I wonder what made Jeff Smith, think, oh, no, snow gonna be one big piece. You know, like this is your Charlie Brown moment right there. Film Bone could have just been saying, "Oh, brother," and it would work. And I think that solidifies how good of a comic this is. It's creative, it's inventive, it's really interesting. I love the story. You know, like I said, if you want a great cartoon book to study Bone. And I hope, my little review of it, as maybe uneducated as it sounds, I try to be educated, but I ain't no Ed Piskor or Jim Rugg. I can't dissect the book as good as them two. Came out pretty good. And we're going to be looking at issue 2 next time. But no, there is Bone number 1. THP by Paul Hope. Paul Pope. I don't know why I say Hope. I love Paul Pope. I have not read THB yet, which I think a lot of people say is his best work. So that'll be interesting. We'll need to do a video on that. Grifter and She, definitely not going to read. Astro City, one of the most boring comics I ever tried to read. And what is this? Book of the Ballads and Sagas. Who did that? Neil Gaiman, Sherry McCrum, and Rob Walton. Looks interesting. But no, there's Bone number 1. So I guess I'll sum it up. A really great cartooning book that I think anyone and everyone could read. It has a great story, great art. Just hits that formula of all ages, which a lot of comics can't and don't. So if you need a book that maybe you want to get your kids into, or if you struggle at reading, it's really good. It's a good story. It's a fun story. It has great humorful moments, great serious moments, and also just solid art to study. If you want to study how to do a wider range of emotions, how to just do great silhouettes, great just black and white books with a great fluid read, look at Bone. And I'm curious of the rest of the 33, 36 issues. So, the whole series keeps that flow, which I guess, yeah, we'll have to look at the rest of Bone now. So, maybe next week we'll look at Bone issue 2, or maybe the week after next. Who knows? Let me know in the comments how you'd want me to present that. Or maybe we'll do a couple issues at once, which I don't think so, because this video is going to be about 45 minutes long at this point. But no, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you. That helps us out a lot. It keeps the algorithm pumping these videos out to more and more people who like this kind of style of video. If you aren't yet, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can keep getting the hottest videos from the hottest comic books YouTube channel on the planet right now. We are trying to get 100 subscribers by summer's end. We are at 45 right now, so we are almost halfway there, and I think we can do it. If you are new to this channel, we are soon to be doing a summer goal subscriber special. At the beginning of the summer, I said I wanted 40 subscribers by the end of it. we, obviously hit that, knocked it out of the park. So we will be doing an event for it, which I think will be happening in the next few weeks. Um, we will be doing, I do 5 videos a week, Monday to Friday, every Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. every day, unless I have technical difficulties, which this video is a double header. There will be 2 videos on the day that this video posts, but this video event for our first summer subscriber goal will be on a Saturday or a Sunday. So whatever week that comes out, you'll be getting 6 videos that week, and it'll be a fun time. It'll probably be a longer style video, maybe an hour, hour and a half. I will try to have a co-host on it, and we'll be raffling off artwork, where all you have to do is either say your favorite book we've talked about or your favorite artist we've talked about. And I will be raffling off 3 pieces of artwork to 3 different people. I'll be raffling off 2 pieces of original artwork and stickers of some of my artwork. So, like I said, all you have to do is for that video, it has to be commented on the actual celebration video. It will be what is your favorite artist that we've talked about, or what is your favorite book that we've talked about. So I will let you know when that video is. It probably will be next weekend or the weekend after. I have to get my co-host schedule all sorted, but I will keep you in the loop. Thanks for everyone who's watched. And I guess I'll send you on some marching orders, and I'm out of here. Make more art.